Acting Chair of the Governance Commission. Honorable Josiah Jochen, Director of Civil Service Agency. Honorable Deputy Minister, Acting Minister in charge. Members of the executive present, commissioners of the GC, colleagues from LIPA, the press, the public at large. Today is a significant milestone for public sector coordination, collaboration. We will focus on effective reform and capacity development in our public sector. So in this first ceremony of the regular press briefing, the Liberia Institute of Public Administration and the Civil Service Agency will sign a joint memorandum of understanding to work together for effective reform anticipated by the arrest agenda and some ongoing already. So with that, without much ado, I want to call on the Honorable Acting Chairman of the Governance Commission to please come and give us a brief overview of the MOU.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Kapla, Head of the Liberia Institute for Public Administration. Warm greetings to all of you. The Director General and officials of the Civil Service Agency, the Director General and officials of the Liberia Institute of Public Administration, the Board of Commissioners and senior staff of the Governance Commission, the Honorable Deputy Minister and officials of the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, other officials of government here present, international development partners observing this ceremony, civil society leaders and media executives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Governance Commission, GC, stands with the Civil Service Agency, CSA, and the Liberia Institute of Public Administration, LIPA, to declare to Liberia and the world that public sector reform in Liberia has become an international concern and a domestic demand that must be carried out with utmost seriousness. Thus, the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, which will be signed today by our three institutions, the CSA, LIPA, and the GC, is the result of several months of consultation on the need to deliberately, persistently, and consistently stand together and work with other stakeholders to pursue public sector and civil service reform in Liberia. Although there has been no formal agreement for cooperation to date, the working relationship between CSA, LIPA, and the GC is not new. But it is a relationship that severely weakened in the last several years Therefore, understanding the crucial nature of such a relationship for public and civil service reform, national capacity building, and socio-economic development, we have resolved to revive the tripartite, that tripartite relationship, that tripartite arrangement between our three institutions of government. When read, the content of the MOU will make the purpose of our collaboration very clear. In addition, for the purpose of fully executing the MOU, we have agreed to set up a technical working group, the TWG, and the tasks and assignments of that working group have been clearly elaborated in its terms of reference, the TOR. The Governance Commission evolved from the Accra Comprehensive Peace Accord 2003 and was established by Act of Legislature in 2007 to lead the efforts at creating good governance in Liberia by directing attention to remove the root causes of civil crisis. Among other institutions, the Liberia Institute of Public Administration was established in the 1960s through the initiative of the Special Commission on Government Operations, SCOGO. And as historical records show, the Civil Service Agency was reformed in the 1970s to improve the management of the public sector, the public service, and eventually devote attention to public sector modernization. Knowing the significance of these institutions and their responsibilities for national renewal and socio-economic development at the national, local, and sub-local levels, we have decided to hold together in strong solidarity and work with other stakeholders to promote the necessary reforms that are required for the successful implementation of the AARD, the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development. It is no secret that the administration of President Joseph Yuma Boakai inherited a broken government system and too many challenges caused by such factors as poor governance, the over-politicization of the public service, and overstaffing of government institutions, indiscipline, corruption, impunity, and intimidation and killing of professionals in our country. Moreover, values of accountability, transparency, and quality performance were given little or no attention, and there was little or no regard for rules and regulations. Addressing these concerns requires system reform, and system reform is better achieved as a collective endeavor. Yes, we'll need to encourage effectiveness, efficiency, accountability, transparency, defining their mandates and their functions. Under civil service reform, build professional and technical human resource capacity, and encourage gender equality. We will need legislative as well as legal and judicial reforms. We will need to decentralize government and uphold national integrity. We will also need to monitor and evaluate performance quality and achievements in public institutions. Above all, we'll need to turn national vision into policies and achievable goals, objectives, and programs. Yet, when beyond the MOU that will be signed today, we'll need to engage and involve domestic and international stakeholders, the government, legislators that is, the judiciary, civil society, the private sector, the media, public institutions, public servants, citizens as a whole, and international development partners. Meanwhile, the successful implementation of any public sector reform strategy must be strongly backed by the political will and sincere commitment of national leadership. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we bear testimony that the national reform process, as it's being envisioned, the national reform process, as it's being envisaged, is supported by the political will and genuine commitment of President Joseph Newman Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Cohn, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Justice Ministry, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Foreign Ministry, and all other government ministries, agencies, and commissions in the President Boakai administration. It is based on these considerations that the Civil Service Agency, the Liberia Institute of Public Administration, and the Governance Commission, the TRAPO, stand together today to publicly commit to an irreversible reform process in the Republic of Liberia. And this we are determined to achieve in order to avoid the devastating consequences of bad governance. May God continue to bless Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. So now we will take the reading of the MOU, done by Honorable Mobile Lobo. After that, we'll go into the signing.
Thank you, DG. I believe privilege properly observed. So I'll get right to the reading. It's a 3-pager, so hopefully my speed will be an advantage so that we are out of here in no time. Memorandum of Understanding for collaboration between the between the Liberia Institute of Public Administration, that's LIPA, the Civil Service Agency, CSA, and the Governance Commission, GC. This Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, for collaboration is entered into by and between LIPA, located on Chisholm Avenue, Sincon, Monroe, Liberia, the Civil Service Agency, located at the President Elgin Johnson Shirley Ministerial Complex in Congo Town, and the Governance Commission, located on 16th Street, Monroe, Liberia. It outlines the collaborative efforts between LIPA, CSA, and GC, hereinafter referred to as the parties, in implementing sustainable reforms, capacity building, and effective transition of civil servants within the Liberian public sector at national and decentralized levels. It also seeks to clarify roles, responsibilities, and establish a framework for collaborative initiatives in key areas of human resource management to enhance public sector effectiveness, efficiency, as well as workforce development. Whereas Section 3.2.4 of the Act establishing the Governance Commission empowers it to promote reforms, efficiency, and transparency in the Liberian public sector by recommending the rationalization of institutional mandates and structure, coordinate capacity building initiatives, and the development of appropriately designed merit-based system. Whereas Chapter 66, Section 66.2 of the new executive law provides that the Civil Service Agency is to increase the efficiency of the public service and to secure for deserving employees a responsible tenure of office and an opportunity for advancement according to merit and seniority, and to place the personnel employed by government on a competitive merit-based system. Whereas Title 12, Chapter 63, Section 63.2b of the executive law establishing the Liberia Institute for Public Administration, LIPA, provides that the Institute shall operate training programs for the public servants in all forms, pre-entry service training, on-the-job training, including the provision for basic academic background. Such training programs shall cover the whole range of government positions and shall extend in particular to 1. Organizing broad-based top to bottom service training programs for government employees. 2. Developing training programs for middle grade and upper level employees, and recognizing the need to collaborate through collective approach to execute the above-mentioned core mandates ascribed to the 3 institutions of government which are interwoven. Now therefore, it is hereby agreed by the parties to collaborate on the terms and conditions as follows. Part 1, purpose. The parties hereby commit to collaborate in coordinating and implementing sustainable reforms, capacity building, and ensuring effective implementing sustainable reforms, effective transition of civil servants within the Liberian public sector. This MOU aims to clarify the roles, responsibilities, and collaborative efforts of the 3 institutions in key areas of human resource management to enhance public sector efficiency and effectiveness. Part 2, areas of collaboration. The parties shall function, cooperate, and work together in accordance with the provisions outlined under the areas of collaboration. Section 2.1, recruitment and selection. The CSA, in collaboration with the Governance Commission, shall streamline recruitment processes, ensure transparent and merit-based selection procedures, and endeavor to enhance diversity and inclusiveness in civil service recruitment. Section 2.2, induction and onboarding. The Liberia Institute for Public Administration, in association with the CSA and the Governance Commission, shall organize and provide comprehensive induction programs for new civil servants, facilitate seamless onboarding processes for new recruits, and ensure smooth transitions into respective roles and responsibilities. They shall also provide mandatory annual refreshers for key public sector actors. Section 2.3, section planning and performance management. The CSA, in collaboration with the GC, that's the Governance Commission, shall devote attention to the development and reviewing of performance management frameworks and ensure their alignment with public sector goals. In addition, they shall monitor and evaluate the implementation of individuals and departmental activities, projects, and programs for the purpose of enhancing transparency and accountability. Section 2.4, ongoing learning and professional development. The Liberia Institute of Public Administration, that's LIPA, in collaboration with the Civil Service Agency, the CSA, and the Governance Commission, the GC, shall provide opportunities for continuous learning and professional development in the public sector. This will involve the development of leadership development programs for specific cadres of the public service, including a targeted leadership development program for women in public service. In other words, offering training programs, capacity building initiatives, and encouraging ongoing skill enhancement and knowledge acquisition for civil servants will remain crucial. Section 2.5, career progression. The Civil Service Agency, in collaboration with LIPA, shall facilitate career progression pathways for civil servants by establishing clear guidelines for promotion and advancement. This will entail maintaining fairness and equity in career development opportunities, standardizing procedures, and charting a comprehensive framework for progression within the public service will be key. Section 2.6, succession planning and management. The Civil Service Agency, in collaboration with the Governance Commission, shall develop succession plans for key roles within the civil service. They shall identify and groom high potential candidates for leadership positions and ensure uninterrupted transition of leadership through effective succession planning scheme of service and certification of cadres. Part 3, the final part, duration and implementation. This MOU shall take effect upon signing and shall remain in force and may be reviewed and readjusted by successive administrations. The collaborative efforts outlined in this MOU shall be implemented progressively with regular reviews and assessments to ensure effective outcomes and alignment with the goals and objectives of all parties. Signed and agreed upon by the authorized representatives of the parties on this first day of October, AD 2024, in the city of Monrovia. For the Liberia Institute for Public Administration, Honorable Niala T. Vabla, Director General for the Civil Service Agency, Honorable Josiah Fulmo Chokai, Director General for the Governance Commission, Honorable Professor Alaric Toba, Acting Chairman. Thank you. At this time, we will invite the heads of entities to make remarks in support of this MOU. Therefrom will be the signing ceremony. Thank you. We'll start with the DG from the Liberia State of Administration, Pabla. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon again. I maintain that today is a historic day, a significant milestone in public service for a few reasons. It marks, for me, the rebirth of collaboration and public sector coordination. And sometimes we overlook these two words that are often used interchangeably. Many of our partners, multilateral, bilateral donors, they spend a fortune on projects in this country seeking to support effective coordination and inter-agency collaboration. Today, we are blessed, and without that initial intervention through a project, the three institutions have recognized the need to collaborate for a simple reason: for the effectiveness in the implementation of their individual mandates, where they cross-cut. So many of you may not know the Liberia Institute of Public Administration was established with a specific mandate to support public sector capacity building in Liberia through training, research, and consultancy. Most often our training mandate is what is known to the public. And we are hopeful that through this collaborative effort, we can support more intensively through our research and consultancy mandate to enhance public sector reform. What do I mean? We are committed to this, standing together with GGC and CSA to support holistic human and institutional capacity building that affects the public sector and by extension the private sector. How do we do this? Through our public sector research arm, our Department of Research. We will also be working with the technical working group to assess public institutions on the capacity needs, capacity gap. Those information can be used to project staff needs where they may, to be used for public policy making, and also to support the CSS decision on recruitment and deployment where they may. As we anticipate, the arrest agenda embodies our shared vision for a more effective and responsive public sector. It may emphasize the principle of collaboration, accountability, and innovation. And so today, we are jumping one step ahead. And I'm deeply humbled and proud by this milestone. Thank you, Prof. Alarikopa and Honorable DG Josiah for joining us or for accepting to collaborate with us in this medium. I'm sure that most of you here may agree with me that sustainable reforms are only upheld by effective policies, strong institutional capacity, and vibrant human resources. Today, when we look around, again, the prof may have referred to the current challenges in the public sector, where we're seeing that there's diminishing capacity in public service. Some for just reason of low resources, some for incapacity, for human and institutional capacity. So this MOU also gave us the opportunity to take a deep dive into jointly building public sector capacity in a way that human capacity aligns with our institutional capacity. Many times when we look at underperformance in the public service or any institution, for example, we quick to point out, oh, that person is not performing, or they need training here. And most often, this is true for our bilateral scholarship and what have you. Most often, we train people who outgrow the institutions. And that's supposed the effect of the brain drain on our country here in Liberia, in the counties. We train people, especially procurement officers, that should be maybe at a superintendent office in the county, or at a city mayor office in the county, should follow the procurement policies. They don't have a laptop to work with. They don't have the internet. They don't have. So the institutional capacity does not meet the human capacity that you've built. What happens? Naturally, people leave. They go and seek new opportunities, and that's one of the biggest challenge in our public sector. We train people because they outgrow the institutions, they walk away. So I'm hopeful that our collaboration here today through this MOU, that begins with the MOU, but extends to the technical working group, will seek to solve some of those long-term problems and effect or challenges in our public sector, where we can finally begin to effect policies, implement effective reforms that seek to align human and institutional capacity where they are needed. It is only with this we can have effective public institutions that are getting the value from the human capacity, the value from the institutional capacity, for the services that are required. So I want to also use the medium because I started with the analogy of partners supporting these kind of efforts with their funds. I want to also call all of our public and private sector partners to join us in this tripartite arrangement as a platform for planning out public sector reform and capacity development. This is important because we can tap in our shared resources and make sure we reach our goal in the future. I also think it is important for our public and private sectors partners to join us for the simple reason of aligning strategies. Many times, there's so much resources available, but because of the idea of working in silos, as we do most often, we tend to lose out on achieving so much with the resources available. So this is an opportunity again with this platform to come together and see what we can do with our shared resources. I would also like us to look into the future, beyond today. Today, we will sign this MOU, we commit our institutions to work. And I like the fact that we have taken an additional step that will institute or constitute a technical working group that begins again with the 3 entities, but hopefully will grow beyond the entities. We want to see out of this TWG effective strategic framework to implement the full vision of the MOU. Plans that are monitored on an annual basis to make sure that we are getting where we intend to be. And also publications, as we are doing today, to update the public on how we are faring with this MOU process. We want to hold ourselves accountable, the institutions accountable, and we want you to hold us accountable to our commitments here today. Thank you for the opportunity given me. And again, thanks to the GC and the CSA for accepting to collaborate with us on this journey. May God bless Liberia.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. And I'll just call on the Honorable GG of the CSA to make a brief statement as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our public service is sick, and that's what the chair of the GC was trying to communicate when he talked about the enormity of the challenges. The best description is sickness. That's what we said. So our public service is sick, and we are the doctors who are supposed to work on it. It's our responsibility by law, by policy, the Liberia Institute of Public Administration, the Civil Service Agency, the Governance Commission to fix it. So formalizing this tripartite arrangement, I think is a milestone step towards that, fixing the problems of our public service. And that is exactly why the CSA is committed to the MOU that was read here. It says everything, it lays it out, what we're going to do. And I am ready to sign. Thank you.
So I will sign this MOU on behalf of the Governance Commission to strengthen the evidence that we are committed to the implementation of our agreement. And once it is in the interest of our country and generations unborn, we shall remain unapologetically uncompromising in the implementation.
Kalau aku ya tidak ada pasti siksi-siksinya yang jadi lagi. Bilang sendiri.
On behalf of the Ministry of Information, we want to appreciate the three agencies of government, the Governance Commission, the Liberia Institute for Public Administration, and the Civil Service Agency. These are the three agencies that are leading the reform that we talk about in the public sector. And the MOU to get signed is a testament to their respective institutional commitment to advancing structural and institutional reform across the public sector of our country. It has to be said that the Governance Commission were one of those institutions that were bastardized over the last 6 years. We had somebody who was sitting there as Governance Commissioner, as chair of the commission, who was more interested in politics than institutional issues. Today, the table has turned. The reform for which the Governance Commission was created is taking place across the public sector of our country. We want to appreciate them and to urge them to do more. That part of the problem that we have as a government is that before we even set our developmental agenda into motion, we have to institute reform across various institutional government because we inherited a complete decay. The system was rotten. Civil service politicized, Governance Commission politicized, dead, non-functional. So you have them now coming together to say we want to work together to build capacity, right? It's a good thing for our country. So we're happy that we have him before the media. We can now go to tell the story that our president is out there making the case for the country. Back home, officials of government are working to institute reform across the country. That's good. The government of Liberia appreciates and welcomes the announcement by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission regarding the start of the preliminary investigation into alleged off-budget or miscellaneous expenditure. President Barker has consistently emphasized that our government maintains a strict zero-tolerance policy towards corruption and public fund mismanagement. We are then monitoring media reports about approximately $15 million spent on miscellaneous or what you call off-budget activities from January of this year to August 2024. The President has received these reports with great interest and supports the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission's investigation into the matter. While the situation may raise concerns, we trust that officials responsible for managing the nation's finances to do so with diligence and integrity, exercising sound judgment at all times. Those involved will cooperate with the LCC's investigation. The President encourages all government entities and officials to assist the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission in its inquiry. As the investigation is ongoing, we cannot disclose specific details, but will closely monitor the proceedings. It is crucial to note that all budgets, all miscellaneous expenditures are not inherently illegal. No one has yet been accused of misappropriation or corruption. The LCC will thoroughly investigate the circumstances surrounding these expenditures and will share their findings with the public. President Boakai and the government will not interfere with the LCC investigation, which are conducted under their legal authority. Liberia's bid for the non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council has been launched. The President is leading our efforts. Last week, Liberia officially launched its campaign for a non-permanent seat on the Security Council of the United Nations for 2026. The goal of the country is to secure the seat designated for the African group members of the United Nations. On Friday, President Joseph Boakai and numerous permanent Liberians gathered at the United Nations headquarters to launch Liberia's campaign to return to the Security Council for the first time in over 60 years. According to UN records, Liberia's last held a council seat in 1961. The council is responsible for maintaining global peace and security, with the authority to impose measures on both members and non-member states. Its full powers are outlined in Chapter 5 and 7 of the United Nations Charter. The council consists of 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members, with 5 of the 10 non-permanent seats up for election each year for a non-renewable 2-year term. In his speech, President Boakai emphasized Liberia's significant role in founding the United Nations, including its predecessors, the League of Nations. He stated that Liberia embodies the principles and aspirations of the United Nations. Let me share a few excerpts from the President's speech. Our commitment to peace, security, and human dignity is enshrined in our Constitution and reflected in our global actions. The skies of Liberia's turbulent past, marked by civil conflict, serve as a testament to our journey towards peace and reconciliation. The resilience shown by our people is evidence of hope and transformation. We have emerged from a prolonged period of instability with renewed vigor, dedicating ourselves to rebuilding our institutions and fostering a culture of peace. The President also added that Liberia's experience with conflict provides the country with unique insight into the complexities of peace building and conflict resolution. To secure the seat, Liberia will need a vote of 2/3 of the United Nations members present during the elections. The Security Council allocates 3 seats to the African group, with 1 seat up for election in even numbered years and 2 in odd numbered years. As 2026 is an even numbered year, Liberia will be one Africa seat available, and our goal is to run unopposed. The President and a group of permanent Liberians, including former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and current legislative chair, launched the campaign in New York City. The effort to convince our African counterparts to endorse Liberia as a sole candidate for this seat is now underway. Securing the seats on the Security Council is a prestigious opportunity for Liberia, a nation that faced significant challenges, yet is now ready to share its insights on overcoming conflicts and global security issues. We hope that our African colleagues will recognize our worthiness and grant us this rare and unique opportunity to serve. On yesterday, our media colleagues, the umbrella organization for all media practitioners in Liberia, observed the 60th anniversary. The Press Union of Liberia continues to remain a partner in progress of the government of Liberia, and we are happy for that relationship, and we intend to maintain it that way. On behalf of the government of Liberia, we issue a statement honoring the union's rich history in advocating for press freedom and transparency in Liberia. This legacy is one that the journalism community can take pride in, and as the government and the relevant ministry, we commend the union's dedication to fostering democracy and openness in Liberia. We value our relationship with the press union and reaffirmed our commitment to ensuring a free and responsible press in the country. We recognize that today marks the induction ceremony for new leadership. We wish the incoming leadership all the best as they take office and guide the organization over the next 2 years. We also would like to encourage the new leadership to ensure that the media in Liberia can begin to self-regulate. When media institutions veer off their professions, it becomes a difficult thing for the government to intervene. They will say you are starving the press. So we encourage them to self-regulate. On that note, let me now invite the CSA boss with his presentation. As you already know, the CSA boss is I think he's part of the bigger company now because he's here almost every day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right, thank you. Honorable Daniel Sano, and Honorable Matthew. Thank you so much for the opportunity you always provide to the CSA to make use of this platform to keep our people informed across the nation. The Honorable Professor Alaric Tupa, my own professor. As a matter of fact, Honorable Tupa taught me political science at the University of Liberia in pursuit of my undergraduate degree. Honorable Liala T. Fatla, the Director General of LIFA. Honorable Darlington A.B. Smith, the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management Policy at the CSA. And I'm going to call the name that I love to always call. Honorable Dadomi again, the Deputy Director General for Administration at the CSA. I see the President of the Civil Servants Association of Liberia, a powerful group that provides strong support to the CSA. We appreciate that, and we appreciate your presence here today. I see distinguished commissioners of the Governance Commission, who are also members of the technical working group that was just established, MOU, other officials of government, the former state, fellow citizens, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant welcome to October. Congratulations to all of us that we made it. The start of the last quarter of the year 2024, and that begins with October, that's why I'm activity in the public service and ensuring the integrity of the government of Liberia's payroll. I'd like to again recognize the chairman of the Governance Commission, Honorable Tupa. I'd like to recognize my brother, the DG of LIPA. And at this time, to get myself off the hook, I saw Honorable T. Nelson Williams here. Is he? All right, I'd like to recognize, I'm sure he's just going to take a call. So, but I'd like to recognize all of you. Purposely, the GC and LIPA bosses. I want to congratulate all of us, the three of us, for signing the historic tripartite memorandum of understanding. And productivity across the government will be tremendously increased. On behalf of the CSA, I want to assure you of our commitment to the terms of the MOU, and as co-chair of this arrangement, we will provide the required leadership. Congratulations once more. First off, we would like to clear up some misconceptions, misinformation, disinformation, if you like, as well as half-truths that are being promoted and heralded by individuals who are bent on derailing our ongoing critical reform efforts. The CSA is not going around firing or dismissing people and removing them from the government's payroll. This is very untrue. If half of this were even true, one can imagine the number of protests that will be staged by workers, who have been quote unquote removed from the payroll across the nation. So that's not true. To this end, we would like to seize this moment to reassure the Liberian people of our resolve to uphold integrity and fairness in our employee management system. Our payroll sanitization effort has affected people in the following categories only. Individuals who have abandoned their assignments for periods beyond the statutorily allowed time, but still drawing paychecks from our system. Some travel for prolonged, unexplained reasons, while others are right here in the country, but do not show up to work. Another group, another category, recipients of steady leave who have stayed beyond the agreed upon duration of their leave agreement without any explanation about pursuing additional or further studies, but are still drawing paychecks from our system. Category 3 are recipients of sick leave who have neither communicated with their HR or administration about the status of their recovery, nor provided any medical certifications signed by recognized practitioners as required by the standing orders of the civil service, but are still drawing paychecks from our system. Finally, there are still even some people who are on two different payrolls, those who refer to as the double dippers. And worst of all, as you will come to find out later during my statement, some individuals have absolutely nothing to do with the government but are being paid huge salaries by the mobile money payment platform. The public can be assured that at no time has the CSA removed any names from the GAO payroll outside of established procedures and standards. So you see, my fellow citizens, the CSA is not witch hunting anyone. Our work is guided by established frameworks. Whether it is the standing orders for the civil service, the Act creating the Civil Service Agency, and the Human Resource Policy Manual across many entities of government. The product of our work will continue to speak for itself, and posterity will be kind to us. I am proud of my team and the accomplishments we have achieved so far in the face of adversities and scarce resources. I also would like to thank the thousands of Liberians who continue to repose confidence in what we are doing at the CSA. We will not fail you. I also like to announce that with immediate effect, the freeze on transfer between and within ministries, agencies, and commissions is hereby lifted. Section 3.4.9 of the Standing Orders for the Civil Service is hereby fully restored, and human resource directors are required to strictly adhere to the provision thereof. I want to repeat this. I also like to announce that with immediate effect, the freeze on transfer between and within ministries, agencies, and commissions is hereby lifted. Section 3.4.9 of the Standing Orders for the Civil Service is hereby fully restored, and human resource directors are required to strictly adhere to the provisions thereof. A circular memorandum to guide the transfer procedures of employees between and within entities will be issued tomorrow. Before we move on to our major talking points, I want to bring to the attention of heads of spending entities that we at the CSA are fully aware that individuals who are not employees of or work for the government are within proximity to government and its functionaries. This does not only violate very basic principles of institutional probity, but also a shared dereliction of their duties to ensure that only those duly within the employ of the government should access government facilities. We are also aware that some heads of spending entities are hiring individuals and using enhancement funds that are meant to support programs and activities at their institutions to pay these very individuals outside of established procedures laid out in the relevant hiring policies of the government, particularly the Standing Orders for the Civil Service and the Human Resource Policy Manual. We are asking them to desist, as we will not hesitate in notifying them and calling them out. Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, we appeared here to provide progressive updates on ongoing reform initiatives across the public service. We made a startling revelation that the mobile money payment platform was being abused. The platform was initially designed to address the specific challenge of paying employees in remote areas with limited or no access to banking services. However, this vulnerability has been exploited by individuals who manipulate the system to their advantage. While the intent behind the platform was well-intentioned, the lack of proper oversight and control measures has allowed it to become a tool for corruption. The government has a responsibility, therefore, to safeguard public resources, and closing the platform is the immediate, effective way to address the issue while developing a more secure alternative. The decision to close the salary payment platform is necessary to protect public funds and ensure accountability in public financial management. Preliminary investigations reveal significant misuse of the platform, with individuals exploiting it to steal money from the government. By allowing these fraudulent activities to continue, public resources are drained, undermining the ability of the government to provide essential services, eroding public trust. The closure of the platform is a critical step toward restoring financial and payroll integrity and preventing future misappropriation of public funds. We have appropriately communicated with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for our two institutions, that is the CSA and the MFDP, to jointly carry out an immediate full-scale, in-depth investigation into the operations of the Mobile Money Unit at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Take, for example, individuals were paid from the platform who have zero relationships with the government, and we'll show you those very soon. In other words, people who do not work for the government were paid government money through the mobile money payroll. There's another batch of individuals whose names on the payroll did not match the names associated with the mobile money number. There is another batch of payees who receive payments up to 3-4 times in a single month, with the explanation for that. We are not making up these stories, not at all. We have all the statements of transactions from December 2023 to July 2024, this year, just this year. These records were subpoenaed by the Monrovia City Court on request by the Civil Service Agency through the Ministry of Justice from the two mobile network operators, Lone Star Cell MTN and Orange Liberia. We are very thankful, and I want to add, very grateful to the two GSM companies for their support and cooperation to this noteworthy effort. Sincerely, from our heart, and on behalf of the CSA, we really want to thank them for supporting the efforts of the government through the CSA to get to this point in our public sector reform initiative. They are very supportive. I want to underscore that. Predicated upon these findings, the CSA is pleased to announce that the mobile money payroll of the government of Liberia is closed effective October 31st, 2024. The circular detailing how legitimate employees on the payroll should transition to the bank payment method of their choice was issued by the CSA on September 23rd, 2024. This circular can be found on our website, that's www.csa.gov.lr, and also on our social media platforms. You can access it. Better still, our offices at the ministerial complex were open to serve you. Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on Monday, August 26, 2024, the CSA, in collaboration with the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, commenced a national pre-retirement counseling workshops and data collection exercise for soon-to-be retired employees of the government. The exercise, which took place across all 15 counties, enrolled up to 1,403 potential retirees. In Monserrate County, the Monrovia Vocational Training Center on Somalia Drive and the VIP entrance of the Samuel Kayado Sports Complex in Painesville were used for these workshops in Monserrate. That is. The workshops lasted until September 13, 2024. The purpose of the exercise was to ensure that prospective pensioners or retirees phase out of active service with the government and provide them with the necessary tools and information needed to begin the retirement phase of their lives. The CSA and NASCOP ensured that the exercise was effectively covered in the following areas. the pre-retirement, the retirement, and the post-career counseling for prospective retirees. For this year's retirement scheme, we are paying a particular attention to two key ministries, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. These ministries are highlighted because they are very critical, and therefore phasing people out has to be very methodical with a replacement plan in place. As such, retirement process for employees in the educational sector will be structured as follows. Closing of the academic year. Teacher retirement will occur at the end of the academic year as prescribed by the Ministry of Education. Recruitment. To replace the retired teachers, recruitment efforts will commence 2 months before the retirement dates of individuals who are scheduled to retire. Notification. Staff in the educational sector will be notified 6 months before their retirement to ensure a smooth transition and adequate planning for replacements. The retirement process for employees in the health sector will be as follows. First, notification. Health workers will be notified 6 months before their retirement to provide sufficient time for recruitment and training of replacements. Recruitment. Recruitment efforts to replace the retiring health workers will commence 2 months before the retirement dates of these individuals. Consequently, for the 2024 retirement and pension scheme, a special dispensation will be implemented given the difficulties in finding suitable replacements in the health and educational sectors. Both health workers and teachers will be given the option to retire at the mandatory age of retirement, which is 65 years, rather than the normal age of retirement, which is 60 years. This dispensation is significant, it's important because we want to keep our healthcare institutions and educational institutions operating. This provision aims to alleviate the strain on the two sectors and ensure that experienced personnel can continue contributing to the well-being of society until they reach mandatory age of retirement, 65 years. This just exercise also covers those who were retired from GOL between 2017 and 2023 and are yet to begin receiving their pensions. Eligible survivors of claimants who died before placement on the pension payroll were also processed. In effect, what that means is that even people who were retired before this government took over, beginning from 2017, we are also enrolling them. So this is a huge plus. This is a great measure on the part of the government to make sure that those people who work for government over the years, for decades, will now have the opportunity to start to receive their pension benefits. To implement the required reforms that will digitize the benefit regime for retirees and pensions, the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation has agreed with the CSA that the processing of retirees' benefits will be streamlined without the need to complete Section 5 of the Benefit Claim Form C1. This section typically involves providing monthly earnings over the last 10 years for the tenure of employment, which has proven to be complicated and time-consuming. By omitting this section, NASCO aims to alleviate delays in the processing of retirement pensions. This is a huge relief to HRs and potential pensioners. As a direct result, the CSA and NASCO will seamlessly transition retirees into the national pension payroll by the first 2 weeks in November and ensure that for the first time, ensure that they will receive their first pension salaries by November 25th, 2024. This is important because the C1 form is cumbersome. It has been one of the reasons why retirees get frustrated and they abandon the process, because calculations for over 10 years have to be done, and to complete the form has been almost impossible. So what the CSA and NASCO have done, they removed that obstacle. So the form we have now is just about 2.5 pages. which are being processed. So that is an ease for HRs and ease for all potential retirees. Fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the civil service plays a crucial role in ensuring the effective functioning of the government by recruiting qualified individuals to fill various public sector roles. However, a reliable, transparent, and efficient mechanism for testing and evaluating potential candidates is essential to maintain high standards of public service. Therefore, the idea of a National Civil Service Testing Center. The proposed testing center will streamline the recruitment process, enhance transparency, and promote meritocracy in the public sector. The primary objectives of establishing the National Civil Service Testing Center are as follows: to provide a standardized and fair testing environment for all civil service applicants, to ensure a transparent, efficient, and merit-based recruitment process, to improve the quality of civil service recruitment by utilizing modern testing technologies and methodologies, to reduce administrative burden and costs associated with the traditional testing process. The establishment of a dedicated National Civil Service Testing Center is a vital step towards ensuring a fair, efficient, and transparent recruitment process for civil service positions. By investing in modern testing facilities and technologies, the government can enhance public confidence in the civil service, improve the quality of its workforce, and promote merit-based recruitment practices. 3 large rooms at the Civil Service Agency are currently being set up with desks, chairs, laptop computers, security cameras, and large monitors. The CSA has automated the testing system. In other words, eligible Liberians desirous of entering the civil service for a testable position will take a computer-based test beginning 3 weeks from now. This center is expected to be dedicated by His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, in this month, in October. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, conducting credential verification for public service employees is essential to maintaining the integrity and professionalism of the civil service. It ensures that all employees possess the necessary qualifications, skills, and expertise to perform their duties effectively. In a time where efficiency, competence, and accountability are critical to government operations, verifying the credentials of public servants ensure that the right individuals are entrusted with responsibilities that directly impact the public. This process reinforces public confidence in the civil service and upholds standards of merit-based employment. Additionally, credential verification helps to prevent fraudulent qualifications from undermining the system. Unqualified individuals occupying positions for which they are not trained or educated can lead to inefficiencies, poor service delivery, and potential harm in critical sectors such as healthcare, education, and law enforcement. So by ensuring that employees' qualifications are legitimate and relevant to their roles, the government can safeguard the quality of its services and avoid costly mistakes that arise from incompetence and lack of expertise. Moreover, verifying credentials supports transparency and fairness in public service recruitment and promotion processes. It eliminates favoritism, nepotism, and corruption by providing a standardized method to assess an employee's eligibility for their position. Credential verification ensures that promotions and appointments are based on merit and qualifications, fostering a culture of fairness and professionalism in the public sector, which is crucial for improving overall governance and delivery. We are aware of the interests the general public has vested in this verification exercise and can assure you that your suggestions of an impartial process driven largely by integrity, honesty, and credibility are carried out. Towards this end, the CSA has set up a special technical credential audit and verification team. The CSA is currently engaged with the International Academic Management Association, IAMA, to support our credential audit initiative independently. IAMA's president and CEO, Professor Dr. Bekesh Shamar, is expected in Liberia shortly to conclude a measure of support to the CSA. In addition to amass support, the CSA is currently engaged with certified fraud examiners, academics, and document analysts to implement this critical national credential audit. The CSA is mindful that the direct involvement of independent specialists and credible institutions will lend credibility and integrity to the process. It is said that, quote, he who comes with equity must come with clean hands, unquote. Therefore, the process will start with the CSA auditing or verifying the credentials of its own employees before rolling it out to the rest of the GOL's many entities. Audit reports will be made public. Major reforms in the civil service are essential for ensuring good governance because they streamline the mechanisms through which public services are delivered. In many cases, the civil service is the backbone of the government's operations, and inefficiencies or outdated processes can lead to delays, corruption, and suboptimal service delivery. By initiating reforms, government can eliminate unnecessary bureaucratic layers, improving the speed and transparency of decision making. This, in turn, builds trust between the government and its citizens, strengthening the social contract and making governance more responsive to the needs of the people. Undertaking major reform initiatives in the public service often comes with significant risks, especially when your intentions are met with doubt or skepticism. Doing the right thing, even when it's clear that change is necessary, can unsettle established norms and challenge vested interests. It's a path that invites scrutiny, resistance, and sometimes even personal attacks. However, real transformation rarely comes without discomfort. The risk lies not in the act of reform itself, but in the misunderstanding of your intentions, as not everyone will see the long-term value immediately. The courage to persist despite doubts is what separates those who simply manage from those who lead. So pursuing major reform in the public service also exposes you to serious security risks and threats of harassment, as entrenched interests often feel threatened by change. When you challenge the status quo, some will resort to intimidation, personal attacks, and attempts to undermine your effort. Reform doesn't just shake systems, no. It can provoke dangerous opposition. In such moments, the resolve to continue requires not just personal resilience, but also robust measures, unorthodox measures, to ensure your safety and that of your team. And that's exactly what we're doing at the CSA. We are robust, we are intentional, and we want to continue on that path. We are aware of this and have decided to keep our heads high and be intentional about bringing the change we all desire. Thank you. So what's going to happen, Honorable Minister, is that we'll just show you a few numbers. We're not going to take longer time.
Yeah, because
Yes. So
EFBC
EFBC have to go. Yeah, so that's going to be very
folks
quick.
are like,
So what we have done here,
watching
members of the
faces,
press, we're not going to show you the names of the people.
My
We
name is
just
Wise.
document them, but
Thanks
we'll
for
just show
coming
you
for
some
watching today's edition
little
of
stats.
the Make Our Regular
So
TV.
I like you. Which one is that? Is that the
Share
Lone Star?
information, cultural affairs, and tourism.
No? Yeah.
The video you saw is the executive.
Okay.
That's the
This is
Director
this
General
is a
of
summary, and
the,
this is Lone Star Cell MTN
the
component. It's okay. You can see from here.
Civil
It's okay.
Service Agency,
So we don't break
CSA
it.
boss Josiah Chuka
All right.
giving his presentation.
Okay, so as I told you, the Civil Service Agency subpoena the mobile money accounts through which we are paying civil servants across the country.